Hey there, I am on because I wanted to share with you basically what has changed my business in the past 30 days. I'm still kind of going through the process, but I want to tell you it's something that I delayed and prevented doing for so long, and I could kick myself for it, but the process is not that hard, and so I just want to share it with you. So you need to get a virtual assistant. You need to get a virtual assistant, and you need to hire somebody from the Philippines because they're super cheap. And you don't use the excuse that you're cheap, because what you're doing is you're cheapening your business. You need to invest in your business, and getting a virtual assistant will change the game for you. So what I'm going to tell you is how to do it, because that was what was stopping me. Is it was too big. It was like, how can I, first of all, I can't afford it, and I can't find anybody good enough, and it's going to be too hard to teach them. It's going to take me a lot of time, and nobody can do it as good as me. And it's just all these things of why I can't instead of why I can. And what changed the game for me is that I attended the MIA live event, Chalene Johnson, if you haven't heard of her Marketing Impact Academy, and I just got to give her a shout out. I had taken the course, and you get a free, you get 2 free tickets to go to our live event if you take her course. And I took her course. I think I signed up for it in October, and the stuff was in the modules, and I read it, but it just was like, okay, later, I'm not going to do it. When I went to the live event, it was just a different thing. And and she's all about implementation and action. And so when I came home, I promised myself the first thing I was going to do when I got home was to hire a virtual assistant. And so that was what I did. And I went in March, and I now have had somebody, and she is amazing, let me tell you. And so I'm just going to tell you what my experience was and how I did it. So, and if you don't know about that video speed controller Chrome extension to speed up videos, search for it. I use it. Every video I watch is sped up, and my life is like, oh, because I don't listen to anything in regular speed anymore. And I don't want you to take a lot of time, so speed me up, and I'll be like talking really fast. So anyways, and again, it's called the Video Speed Controller, and it's a Chrome extension. First tip. Okay, so the way I did it, and she basically lays it out on how to do it. So you go to onlinejobs.ph, and it's a website that has just Filipino workers in it. So you want to pay the subscription fee. I think it's $47. You don't have to stay on there. You just pay to do your hiring, and then you get off. And it shouldn't take you more than a month to do that. So I was only on there less than 30 days, and I probably was only on there 14 days. So anyways, so you go there and you fill out a job description. You post a job description. She provided a job description. I tweaked it, and I will certainly share it with you guys. I can post it in the comments below. So it was, and any job, you can look for any job. We're talking about a virtual assistant. So I looked for a virtual assistant. So I posted a job, and I got a boatload of interest, okay? So I basically screened them, and I was leaning more towards a female, although you could get a male too. You're basically looking for somebody who looks good in terms of kind of has a little bit of experience. But one tip that she told us, which I found to be true, is that hire for personality first. Hire for the connecting that you do with them. Just like when we try to find coaches, look for somebody like you and that really has kind of your personality, and hire for that first and foremost over skill set, because you can, and a lot of these virtual assistant tasks we have aren't too complicated, so you can teach them how to do the tasks very simply. Okay, so I posted a job description, got lots of interest, and started screening through them. The next thing she says is always schedule a Zoom interview. So you want to schedule somebody to talk live to, because you get a feel for them, right? And so I set up 5 Zoom interviews first, and I proceeded to get on and talk to each one of them. So my experience was the first one was, amazing. And she ended up becoming my virtual assistant. The second one was one of the questions. Oh, she also gives you a list of questions to ask them during your Zoom interview, which is amazing too. And so one of the questions was, how would your friends describe you? And I thought it was very telling. So the second person said that her friends would describe her as silent and serious. So you can imagine how that interview went. And I'm super like energetic, and it was like trying to pull words out of her. And so moved on to the next person. She seemed, I think she was a hooker is really what she was. And so, and also she didn't have very good internet. It kept cutting out. And so that's one of the things that you look for, because some people there don't have good internet and you don't want that. So, and then I think the fourth person didn't show up, and the fifth person was good, and I trialed her as well. So the next step after you find somebody you like, and if you fail with with your first 5, go find 5 more. I had like over 50 people responded. It was too many to even like deal with. So I only went with 5, and I found somebody. So the next step is you trial them. You give them 2 to 3 tasks to do and see how they do. And then after you trial them and they pass, then you trial them for 30 days. You say, okay, I'm going to try you for 30 days, see how we go. And then after 30 days, you make that decision. So they never really feel like, you know, it's a trial, right? So you want to make sure that they will work the hours. It's 12-hour difference. I find it works pretty well, because when I go to bed at night, it's a good time for her, like 9 in the morning and 9 at night. So depending, and she's very flexible. So if you want them to work weekends, make sure they'll do that, and make sure, you know, number of hours. The other thing that Shalene suggests is to pay them more than what they're asking for. So my person was, she was asking for, she basically wanted to make $400 US dollars a month for her family. And so she was getting $4.50 in a prior job. So I said, okay, I'll trial you for $4.50. And we just finished the trial period. I mean, I think she's been working for me like 2 weeks untrial. And I told her I'd pay her $5 an hour. And they're very loyal. Filipinos are supposedly very loyal people, and you want to keep a good person. So you want to pay them even more, so they'll be even more committed to you. So, all right, so that was that. And so the other big tip that Shalene said is that when you are giving them a task, do a recording of you doing the task in Zoom or whatever screen sharing, capturing format you want. But you basically go through it and talk out in your mind what you're doing while you're doing the task, because then when they do it, they have that video. So it's so much easier to do it, because you have to, before you give them the task, it's stuff you are doing anyways, right? And so you do the task just as if you would, but instead you're recording it, and then you say, here, you can do it now and see how you do. And so that is great. You don't have to write up instructions on how to do something. And so my girl has been the thing that she just started doing for me, so I really haven't played it out over a whole course of a month yet. She was helping me with blog posts, and she was helping me convert my video. I do a lot of live video, and she would upload to YouTube and convert the transcript to a blog post. And then so things there she was doing for me. She also was doing my weekly tracker, so where my business update, and I was spending like an hour every Thursday, like putting all my numbers in a document. So when I said, I actually did a funny Facebook post about it, because I said, you know, what you want to do is do the important work, right? So you can't do everything, and it comes to a point where if you're going to be successful, you need to hire somebody. And the thing that really struck me that Shalene said is if you hire somebody, you will make 10 times more money because of that hire, because you're going to be able to do the more of the more important things. So our more important things are having those conversations that sell people either the opportunity or the challenge pack, right? And you can have more of those conversations if I'm not doing the stupid business tracker update, or if I'm not doing some silly other shit. So I call it silly shit. So they can do the silly shit, and I'm going to do the important shit. And so now what she started doing for me is my like page reach outs. And so what that is so key about is that I get 50 to 60 new people on my like page every day, because I learned how to do ads, and I am having a successful ad that's getting me a lot of new targeted fans in my audience. And so I was not even reaching out to them before her. I didn't have time to reach out to them. And I comment on people's comments when they engage. And if they send me a message, and I get these periodic random messages from people, but I wasn't initiating any conversations with those people. And so what she's doing is a very standard message. And somebody asked, I don't like to give my conversations to somebody else. Well, she's not doing any follow-up conversations with those people. She's just doing an initial scripted message. And it goes something like, I hope you don't mind this random message. I just want to thank you for liking my blah, blah, blah page. And then it says something like, I like connecting with like-minded women. Do you work out too? So it's something very, very simple like that. And so she started doing 20 a day. And so basically, and she does these really kind of at her time. And so it's 12-hour lag. So every day in the morning when I wake up, there's all these messages from people. A lot of people don't respond, but a lot of people do. And so I've started talking to all these new people that I didn't have conversations with before. And so it's been amazing. And so I highly recommend that you tomorrow go join onlinejobs.ph, post a job description, interview at least 5 people, and start giving tasks to a couple of them. So I had 2 that I started giving tasks to, and one basically did crappy work, and she just wasn't. I loved her personality. Oh my gosh, I would have loved to have her, because she was just the bubbliest, cutest, sweetest, and I loved her. But she didn't do good work. And so I basically went with my other gal, who I love too, and she's just been amazing, and she's very reliable and very honest, and she's a young mom, has a husband, and I could see her if she was in the US or Canada, somebody being on my team. But anyways, so I hope this has helped. So I then carry the conversation from the beginning, and I'm starting to have, like I said, I'm just starting conversations with these people. And I'm also asking her to look at those. So she was doing 20. So now she's doing every single person. I asked her actually this morning, because I don't want anybody to fall through the cracks. I want to message every single person. So every day she's messaging these 50 or 60 people, and then I am going and following up to have more serious conversations to see how I can help them. And and also in that process, she's looking for the 10 most people that look like similar to me. She's learned a lot about my personality over the last 6 weeks while we've been working together. And so she is making that decision, and she's sending friend requests to 10 of those people, and she's adding them into Team Z so we can start tracking them. So I have the system with her that seems to be working, and we're kind of tweaking as we go. For example, Team Z, by default, when you add somebody, they get 3 stars. And so I started noticing that these people, by default, I won't be reaching out again to them if they don't respond. I won't be, or even if they do, and the conversation kind of dies off and I forget to restar them. So she's just adding 5 stars immediately to them, because we want to go back and more in 30 days, not in 90 days, which is the way Team Z works. So I hope this has helped. I try to get it all out quickly. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below. And I will post a job description and maybe the questions that you ask. That might be too long to put in a comment. I don't know. But maybe I'll put that in a Google document and I'll link to it. That would be helpful, I think, for you guys. So anyways, that's helped. All right. Bye. Mwah.